Again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good afternoon, everybody. Our class today is going to be about an introduction to the IGCSE ESL reading. I won't speak about reading in general. I'll be very specific on speaking about IGCSE ESL reading. I'll be very specific on this because that's the course you are going to be doing the exam in within this year or next. Okay. Our agenda for class today includes, okay, first of all, we will speak about the objectives of the IGCSE. We should know what they are looking for. They want us to know what they are testing, what exactly, so I can handle the situation the right way. Okay, and remember, here I'm speaking especially and specifically about reading. I won't speak about writing. Our last class we spoke about writing, but today we will focus mainly on reading, and mainly for reading for the IGCSE ESL exam. Then we will speak about general overview about the reading questions. After speaking about the objectives, then we will go to reading exercise 1, reading exercise 2, 3, and 4. I'd like to remind you that 4 mixes both reading and writing at the same time. I spoke about it last time, and I remind you what will happen about the 4th exercise by the end of this class. Okay, now let's go and see what is the source that we will depend on. We will depend on the syllabus for Cambridge IGCSE 0510, okay, and it's for 2022 and 2023. By the way, the syllabus didn't change from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. It's the same syllabus, but it is the most recent one. So when you depend on this, you are depending on the most reliable source for your syllabus. Because if you look through the past papers from earlier years, you will see that the exam or the criteria or the number of questions or the nature of the questions is not like the nature of the questions we will handle today together. Okay, now the objectives of the IG. Number 1, especially reading 1 or objective number 1 from the reading is to identify and select relevant information. And please, everybody, be careful, it's relevant information. Don't expect that they will reward you a mark if you take a big sentence and you put it, and this sentence includes the right answer. This is not what they are looking for. So again, identify and select relevant information. Then number 2, understand ideas, opinions, and attitudes. You need to show that you do understand what's going on. Being specific reflects this. That objective, the third objective of the reading, show understanding of the connections between ideas, opinions, and attitudes. Okay, this is important because you will see in some questions that the question is written not exactly in the same language mentioned in the text itself. The fourth objective for the IG, when they assess your linguistic abilities, is to understand what is implied but not directly stated. This is very important. You understand what's implied but not directly stated. You understand the gist, the writer's purpose, intention, and feelings. This is important. How you will reach this? From reading the text and from being fluent with your reading skills. Now we will move to the next point. Yes, reading exercise overview. This is from the syllabus. They describe everything about every question. Question 1, reading number 1, you will have the total of 13 marks. And as he says here, reading exercise, candidates read the text and answer series of questions. And I'll explain what kind of questions and how to answer them and how to handle the situation. Then write short. Look at this. This is very careful. This is very important. Write short, single word or phrase to the answer. So no need for sentences here. That's what Cambridge says. Cambridge says single word or a phrase, just 2 or 3 words. Okay, that's it. You don't need to go and look for a complete sentence. Okay, and again, we will cast more light on this. The type of the text, it can be an article, a blog, or a web page. Exercise 2, okay, it has all the 4 objectives, and you read an exercise, and the candidates read the text and answer a series of questions testing more detailed comprehension. Yes. What does it mean, more detailed comprehension? It means that exercise 2 is harder than exercise 1. Okay, you will need to go deep, okay, behind what's written. You will go after details more than in the first question. And then candidates match the correct answer to the question. In our sample today, they will speak about 4 people, and then you will read some sentences and say, this sentence is relevant to which of the 4 people. It can be 4 people, 4 countries, 4 experiments, 4 magazines, 4 movies, 4 vacation destination. It can be anything, but always you will find that the text is divided into 4 sections. How many marks are given or rewarded for this exercise? 10 marks. Now the third exercise, exercise 3, here it's note making. When we take note or we make notes, what we do? Do we write complete sentence? Okay, we don't write complete sentences. The candidates make brief notes under a supplied heading or headings relating to the text printed in the question paper. We take notes from the text itself. Again, the text will be an article or a text, for example, newspaper or magazine. And here you will take 9 marks. When it comes to the 4th question, as I said, or exercise, it mixes both reading and writing at the same time. And I'll leave speaking about this one until the end. By the way, the syllabus I'm taking from now and I'm speaking about is no secret. It's published by Cambridge on the website, and any of you can go and revise for your own information. Now I'll go closer and cast more light on the first exercise, reading exercise 1. 13 marks. It's not an easy question to waste. It's very important to be careful and focus on what you are doing. The first thing you should remember about this question, that, or any reading question, that there are 2 strategies, okay, or 2 approaches, 2 ways to approach the reading question. Some people like to go from question, Q, T here means from question to text. Others prefer to go from text to question. What does this mean? It means some people don't read the text at the beginning. They go to the question, read the question, the first question, or the second question, or the first and the second question, and go look for the answers in the text. Others say, no, I like to go read the text, underline the key words, and then go to check for the questions. What is the best strategy for this? Actually, everyone has his own way, his own taste. Some people will do best when they go from question to text. Others will find it's better for them to go from text to question. What you are good at, continue on it. Okay, if you prefer QT, go to Q2 or QT, from question to text. If you prefer text to question, do it and go from text to question. My advice to you, if you don't have any preference, my advice to you is to go from question to text. And again, don't read only the first question. Read the first question and the second question. Look for the answer of the first question and the second question. Also, when you get the answer for the first question, go and read the second and the third, and then look for the answer. If you found the answer for the second question, please, and you didn't find the answer for the first question, please go and recheck the part before where you found the answer for the second question, because questions here come in sequence, the same order except the last question. except the last question, and we will see that. So if you found the answer for question 2 and still you haven't got the answer for the first question, go and look for its answer before where you found the second question. But you must be sure. Okay? That's it. So everyone can choose his own strategy. And my advice to you is to go from questions to the text. It saves a lot of effort and time. Then the second thing about question 1 I'd like to share with you is to read the question and underline the key words. This is very important. The question word, whether it's what, when, where, how, this is important. Many times we see students making mistakes because they read when and answered for where. I'm sure that a student in IG knows very well the difference between when and where, but under the stress of the exam, some people don't focus that much. He is in a hurry, he wants to speed up to the writing section. No, give every section its attention and its time. This is very important. So you will go and read the question, underline the keywords that you will be looking for in the text. Why I underline the keywords? To know where I am in the text, to know what I am looking for in the text. Okay, keywords can be nouns, can be verbs. It depends on the type of the question, and we will see this together when we go to the sample question together. Today, we will be more interactive than last time. The second thing is to go, after you read the question and underline the keywords, scan the text for the keywords or their synonyms. It's not a must to find it as it is the same word. Yes, when you find the word, the keyword of the question, you find it in the text or you find it's a synonym, please slow down here and focus more and be more attentive. Try to make sure that you reach it, what you are looking for. Don't rush, don't go in a hurry. The second point or the following point is to read carefully and make sure you get the right piece of information. Yes, it's no harm to swing from the question to the text, from the text to the question more than one time to double check, which is very important, that you have got the right piece of information. And why I say piece of information, because we will write it as a single word or as a short phrase. We will not write a complete sentence. Don't copy a sentence from the text to the answer area in the paper. Don't do this. Don't do this. Then go back to the question and recheck, as I said, the answer here. There should be a W here. Okay. Then copy the answer from the text to your answer lines under the question. Yes, please. Here I say copy. No need to change the word. You are not required or expected to change the word and write a synonym to show that you understand or you know the meaning. No. Here they want you to scan the text, get the right word or phrase, and copy it on the lines. Please, again and again and again, you copy. Please don't depend on your memory. Maybe the text uses a British spelling and you want to write an American spelling. Please don't. Write everything as it is in the text. If it is capitalized, write it in capital. If it is not capitalized, write it as a lowercase. Don't write it capitalized. This is very important. And I highlighted and underlined it. Copy from the text your answers and check that you have copied it the right way. Sometimes we write a word like color or favorite. We used to writing it in English, but in British English, but the American is different, or you are used to the American, but the British is different. Refer to the text. Copy from the text. Don't copy from your background. Everything you are asked to do what's in the text, and you do it exactly as it is in the text. This is very important. The second or the following point is, if the question requires more than one piece of information, you must be careful about that. You will find that there is more than one line. In the answer area, under the question, you will find 2 lines. Okay, you should write every piece of information on a separate line. Don't try to write them on one line, because this will be easier for your examiner, for the teacher who is checking your paper, to find your answers. And also, this is the recommendation made by Cambridge. Students should write one piece of information on one line. And again, we don't write sentences, we write words or phrases, and we copy them from the text. Copy them from the text, don't depend on your background. Then, when we go to the next or the following point, it says, answers are in sequence except the last question. I think I said that. I said that you will find question number 1, you will find its answer. After it, you will find question number 2, then question 3, and this helps you to know where is your missing answer. And that's why I want you to read questions 2 by 2, because if you are looking for reading for question number 1 only, you may go until the end of the text trying to get the answer. But if you read question number 1 and the question number 2, and while scanning your text, you found the answer for the second question, stop here. You know that the answer for the first question is in the previous part of the text. This is very important. The last point, and I stress it strongly, it says, be precise. Don't write any unimportant words. Be very precise. My dear, being precise is very important. If you write some words which are not needed, this means you didn't understand. You don't know where the answer is. It doesn't mean that you have, if the answer is 1 word and you wrote 5 or 6 words, they will not say, yeah, here is the right word, and we should reward the mark for the student. No, unfortunately, they don't do that. They need the word to be the word itself. Nothing to be added. Nothing to be to show that your language abilities. This will be tested in the writing, not here. Here, just 1 word or phrase, and don't try to include any unimportant words. Now I'll stop. I'll go now to the example of the exercise, of the first exercise. I sent this PDF file yesterday to you all, so you can print them and try to answer them, and try to share me now your answers, and we can discuss why this answer is good, why this answer can be better, and so on. And as I said, you can do that, and still we will present every thing. But before I move to the, or while I'm trying to move to the other folder so we can share the other the example question, if you have any questions, you are most welcome. If you want to ask anything about these points, you are welcome, or about exercise 1 in general. Okay, here is the first exercise that I sent to you yesterday on PDF, and it says, read the article about Neil Armstrong, the American astronaut, and then answer the following questions. Here is the text, as you all see, and here are the questions. I repeat again, if you are this kind of person who prefers to read the text and to go to the questions, do that. I myself prefer to go and read the first 2 questions and then look for their answers. The first question says, what was Neil Armstrong's role in the space mission? Role is like job, is like part, it can be many things, but this is, okay, what was Neil Armstrong's role in the space mission? So I need Neil Armstrong's role. This is very important. His job on the space mission as well. Someone can say, Mr., I need to highlight because he may have more than 1 job and I need it. So Neil Armstrong's role. Then, when did Armstrong's heart beat faster? So when? I'm looking for time. This is important as well. Time. Okay, and his heart beats fastest, sorry. When his heart beat fastest. This is very important here as well. Okay, now I'll go to the text and read it, trying to find something about his role or his job or the time when his heart beat fastest. Okay, now I go to the text and I see the footsteps of an astronaut. On 21st July 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first man to step onto the moon. The first man is not a job. As he did so, he spoke the memorable words that that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And estimated 600 million people, which in 1969 was 1/5 of the world's population, watched or listened to the moon landing. Anything about his job on the space travel? Anything about his role, about heartbeat and the importance and the speed of his heartbeat? I see a question here. Just a second. No. Okay, so nothing here. Thanks for your answer. So it is nothing here to deal or to speak about his role or about his about the time. Okay, then Neil Armstrong was the commander. Commander is the job. Commander of Apollo 2 or second spacecraft. Okay, so I need to highlight here the word commander. Okay, I'll highlight it here. Okay, and I'll go to continue reading of the Apollo 2nd spacecraft on the most daring space mission. Okay, on the most daring space mission of the 20th century. The early stages of the flight were very stressful and incredibly noisy, and during the launch phase of Apollo 2nd, Armstrong's heart, here is heart, I'm looking for something like that, yes, okay, reached a top rate of 110 beats per minute. Here, top rate, I think top rate means exactly the fastest. That's what we were looking for. So I put the answers for the first and the second questions on the same part, okay, on the same paragraph, I mean. So what I need to write as an answer for the first question, if you write commander, it's enough. He is a commander. This is his job. This is his role. He was a commander. If someone wanted to add it, commander of Apollo 2nd, that's excellent. Please don't go to spacecraft. If you did, it's no need. You are wasting your time. You may not copy everything the right way. And if you wrote commander, you don't need to write it in capital letter. And if you want to write Apollo, you must copy it as it is here. Okay, capitalized A, and you write it like this. Okay, no need for full stops, no need for end marks, no need to go and write Armstrong was the commander of Apollo 2nd spacecraft on the most, no, at all. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is a waste of your effort, and it distracts the examiner. The teacher will not give you the mark. He will say that you copied the sentence because you expect the answer is not there. You are not sure of yourself, and you must know what you are asking. They are very specific. You must be very precise. Your answer included the right answer, but it is not precise enough. It's not to the point enough. You will not take the mark. I'm sorry to say that. So the first thing we will write commander or commander of Apollo 2nd at most. At most, that's it. Then when we go to heart reached top rate, I need to know when. Okay, per minute, when? I need to go a little bit earlier. The early stages of the flight were very stressful. Is this the answer? And incredibly noisy. And during the launch phase, oh, here is another time. During the launch phase, okay, of Apollo 2nd, Armstrong heart, okay. So the answer here, you can just write the launch phase or during the launch phase. This is enough. Don't take more than this. You can copy it from the text and go and write it on your answer sheet, and you will be rewarded the mark for this. So we managed to get the answers for the first and the second questions. Okay, our answer for the first question is commander or commander of Apollo 2nd, and the second one during the launch phase. If you go with all the things, you will find here very close, you will find answers for question 3 and so on. Let's go and look at question number 3. What was a benefit of bigger command module? Okay, benefit, and I need what was the benefit of a bigger command module. And also I'll go and read question number 4. When did Armstrong, when it's time, I need the time. Okay, when did Armstrong notice a possible problem? Notice a possible problem during the space mission. So I need the benefit of a bigger command module, and I need to know when he noticed a possible problem that may happen. If we go directly to the text, no shame, keep going from the text to the questions all the time to make sure that you are doing the right thing. Apollo 2nd was larger than any previous spacecraft. It consisted of a command module which the astronauts traveled in, a service module which provided power. Anything about benefits? Okay, maybe this one provided power, but there is something bigger. Okay, and a lunar landing module for landing on the surface of the moon. An advantage, I think you all know that advantage is a benefit. So here I need to slow down and start reading my answer or reading the text more carefully. Here I must underline this or highlight it. Advantage of traveling in this spacecraft, which is bigger than the previous one, was that astronauts could move around more easily. So you need to go and copy astronauts move easily or more easily. This is the answer you are expected to do. That's it. That's the answer. Okay, you don't need to go and write more than this, but the advantage, it is the benefit, and you find it here exactly, and then you take the right answer. There was another question you must remember, which was when did he face the problem? If you look here, Armstrong was pleased about this because as a child he had suffered from motion sickness, nothing to do with when, and even during the training for the space flight, this is time but not related to my point. For the space flight, he had sometimes felt ill after doing aerobatics during the final descent onto the moon. Armstrong noticed that they were heading towards landing area which looked dangerous. I think if you are going to land on a dangerous part, this is something, this is a problem. So if you go back to the question 4 says, notice a problem. And here even he used the same word, noticed, to help you even. He was clear enough. So when I need the time during the final descent, okay? So I should take this, the final descent or during the final descent. This is enough. You don't need even to write onto the moon. It will be enough and you will be rewarded the right answer. You will keep going with the same strategy for all questions and you will find all the answers very easily. And because of the limitation of time, I'll just go to the last question, which is different. Question 13, question number 9 is different. Why? You will see. Here, question 5. Here you need 2 things, 2 pieces of information. How come I know? He gave me 2 lines and 2 marks. So every piece of information should be rewarded 1 mark. If you go to question number 9, you will see that you have 4 lines. So it means what? It means you need 4 pieces of information. Maybe on the first line, you write 1 word, second line, a phrase or a word, and then you go to the third and fourth. But the question says, what does the article tell us? Here he speaks about the article. Tell us about Neil Armstrong's character. Be careful. Okay, I'm speaking about Neil Armstrong's character. And be careful. The 4 details, you need to get them from the text. Now it's not organized. It's not in sequence. You must go and look for everything. You may remember some characteristics that you recognized while reading, or you may find that the characteristics still need you to dig a little bit deeper in the paragraphs. Some of you may have noticed them, some not. But remember, here he is looking for 4 details. I and you should expect that the text to have more than 4 details, just to give you the chance, because not all of us will be able to get the 4 if they are only 4. So they usually give more than 4. But should I go and write 5 or 6, if there are 5 or 6 characteristics of Armstrong's personality on the lines to show that I understand everything, will this take me higher? No. Choose the 4 ones that are more appealing to you. Don't go and try to write more than 4 pieces of information. They will not. They will take only the first 4 ones. And even if you made a mistake in one of the 4 of the previous ones, they will not go and check 5 and 6 to make sure that to give you the mark. No, they will read only the first 4 characteristics, or the first 4 features of his personality. And you need to write them here on these lines, again, as words or phrases. No shame, you will go and write them. For this, you need to scan the whole text, looking for things about his personality. Okay, I remember that here's something said about his personality. Aldrin later said that neither he or Armstrong were emotional people. So you will just go and write not emotional. You will just know, oh, neither is negative. So you just say he was not emotional. Okay, emotional is 1. But remember, it's not emotional. Of course, if you wrote emotional, this will be punished, or you will be penalized against your answer. Your answer is not right. You are taking the opposite. And then we need something else about the personality of Armstrong. Okay, if we go and try to go faster, I think till now we didn't see anything about personality from I remember, which dangerous module, which enabled him to find safer area to land. When questioned later about this, he said in his typical modest way. So, modest way. Okay, so he's a modest person, or he has a modest way. You can write that. This is another piece of information about his personality, as I just said. Modest way, that he was just doing what his training had taught him. So he's a polite person, but I prefer to write modest. Don't go to say considerate. Don't go and say polite. No, we don't need this. Copy from the text. It's safer for you and your mark. Armstrong and his co-pilot, Edwin Buzz Aldrin, spent nearly 3 hours on the moon's surface. Okay, it's an answer for another question, but I want to save your time. Surface collecting samples of rock and moon dust. Armstrong said later that the sights were magnificent, the moon incredible, and that I had ever experienced it. The 2 astronauts also conducted scientific experiments during the walk. Meanwhile, the 3rd astronaut on the mission, Michael Collins, had an important role to play. He circled the moon in the command module as his 2 colleagues walked on the surface. Aldrin later said that neither he nor Armstrong were emotional. He did admit, however, that after the landing, there was a brief moment when they looked at each other, slapped each other on the shoulder, and said, "We made it." Aldrin said that Armstrong was one of the most courageous persons. Just write courageous. Courageous is the 3rd, I think the 3rd one we reached now. So with the first one, you can say he was modest, he was not emotional. This is very important, and he was courageous. Now we need one more piece of information about his character, and I'll just go quickly to the last line. He says there is something here, but because I want to, I'm working against time now. I want to get it done. quickly. If you look here at the bottom, you will see he said that he had enormous sense of pride. So you can just write sense of pride in, you don't need to write in achievements. Just say sense of pride. I need to check. Yeah, someone dropped the line now. Let me check. Yes, yes, Ahmed. The questions in exercise 1 are always in order. And this is a great help, as I told you. If you missed, if you got the answer for question number 2 and you didn't find the answer for question number 1, don't go after question 2 and try to get the answer. No, they are in sequence. They follow the same order. This is the main characteristic of the first question. And it's a great help. You will know exactly where to go and the focus and the dig for your answer. They are always in order. They are always in sequence, except one thing, except the last question, which is question number 9, which rewards 4 points. By the way, should I write the characteristics of his personality or his character, when I write the points about his character, should I write them in the same order they appear in the text? You don't have to. But you need to copy them exactly as they are written in the text. Don't exceed. Don't write full answers, please, or full sentences. You need full answer, which is not a complete sentence. I think Zoom will cut on us now.